A 13-year-old orphan with no money, no teacher, and no future challenged a grown samurai to a death match. He won. Not with strength, not with technique, with something he'd trained into his mind that made losing impossible. What he discovered that day would become the most powerful system for developing discipline and self-control ever created. There's a training method that Zen monasteries kept hidden for 400 years. Not because it's complicated, because it's so effective, it eliminates the need for willpower entirely. Western psychology discovered it in 2018 and called it the discipline paradox. Musashi knew it in 1584 and called it something else. The way to make your mind obey you like a trained warrior obeys a master. Have you ever noticed how some people do the hardest things without internal struggle? They decide to wake up at 5 a.m. and they wake up at 5 a.m. They decide to train for 2 hours and they train for 2 hours. They decide to fast and they fast. No negotiation, no willpower battle, no motivation needed. While your mind constantly rebels against your decisions, their mind simply executes. You know that feeling when you decide to do something important and your mind immediately starts generating excuses. Start tomorrow. You're too tired. This isn't the right time. That internal war exhausts you before you even begin. What if I told you that war exists because you've never trained your mind? And a 16th century warrior who fought over 60 death matches without losing once developed the exact training protocol to eliminate that war forever? Today, you'll discover why discipline isn't about forcing yourself, why self-control isn't about resisting temptation, and why Musashi's mind could command his body to do impossible things while most people's minds can't even get them out of bed on time. But there's a catch. This training will require you to deliberately do uncomfortable things with no purpose except training your mind. And most people would rather keep struggling than do that. Before I reveal how a teenage orphan trained his mind to become undefeatable, subscribe to the channel, like the video below, and comment on what your mind refuses to obey you about. This really helps the channel reach more people, and I love reading and interacting with all of you. Now let's begin with what happened before that first duel. Chapter 1. The Awakening. Musashi stood in the dirt courtyard of his village. Age 13, parents dead, no home, no food, no future. And across from him, Arima Kihei, a grown samurai with a wooden staff, preparing to beat a child for the entertainment of watching villagers. Musashi had challenged him, not because he wanted to fight, because he needed to prove something to himself. Could his mind control his fear, or would his fear control his mind? The previous week, Musashi had run from a dog, a simple village dog. It barked and he ran, heart pounding, breath panicked, body completely controlled by fear. And as he hid behind a wall, he thought, I can't even control my reaction to a dog. How will I ever control my life? That night, he made a decision that would define everything. I will train my mind the way warriors train their bodies. I will make my mind obey me in every situation, starting with fear. For 7 days, Musashi trained, not with a sword, with his mind. He would sit perfectly still and imagine the thing he feared most, death in combat. He would feel the fear rise in his body, the racing heart, the tight chest, the urge to run. And instead of running, he would breathe, slowly, deliberately, commanding his body. We sit, we breathe, we do not run. The first day, he lasted 30 seconds before his body stood up involuntarily and walked away. The fear was too strong. His mind rebelled. But Musashi understood something most people never learn. The mind is like an untrained horse. It will throw you off unless you train it to obey. Day 2, 45 seconds of sitting with fear before his body rebelled. Day 3, 2 minutes. Day 4, 5 minutes. Day 5, 10 minutes. By day 7, Musashi could sit with the image of his own death for 30 minutes without his body moving. His mind had learned, The master commands. We obey. The morning of the duel, villagers gathered expecting to watch a child get beaten. But when Arima Kihei raised his staff and charged, something strange happened. Musashi's body didn't freeze. His breathing didn't change. His hands didn't shake. His mind was completely calm, watching, calculating, waiting. At the last moment, Musashi moved. He grabbed a stick from the ground and struck Arima Kihei once across the temple. The grown samurai fell, unconscious. The crowd was silent. A 13-year-old orphan had just defeated a trained warrior, not through strength, through absolute mental control. As Musashi walked away from the fallen samurai, he understood. I didn't win because I was stronger. I won because my mind obeyed me and his mind betrayed him. His fear made him reckless. My control made me precise. Discipline is not about forcing the body. Discipline is about training the mind to command the body. That day, Musashi began developing what would become his complete system for training mental discipline and self-control. A system that would allow him to fight 60 more duels without losing. A system that made his mind so obedient that his body could execute any command, no matter how difficult or dangerous. Before this awakening, Musashi was like everyone else. His mind controlled him. After 7 days of training, he controlled his mind. The difference wasn't talent, it was training. And he'd just proven it by defeating a grown warrior at age 13. Chapter 2. The Principle of Shin. No Tanren, Forging the Mind. After his first duel, Musashi didn't celebrate. He went to the mountains alone for 30 days. Not to train his sword technique, to train his mind. What he developed there would become the foundation of his discipline system. Shin no Tanren, the forging of the mind. Musashi wrote, "The warrior who trains only his body will lose to the warrior who trains his mind. The body is a tool. The mind is the craftsman. A skilled craftsman with a simple tool defeats an unskilled craftsman with the best tool. Train your mind first. Your body will follow." The principle. Discipline isn't built through grand acts of willpower. Discipline is built through thousands of micro acts of mental obedience. Each time your mind obeys your command, even with tiny things, the obedience pathway strengthens. Each time your mind disobeys and you accept it, the rebellion pathway strengthens. Most people train rebellion without knowing it. They decide to wake up at 6 a.m. The alarm rings. Their mind says, "Sleep more." And they obey their mind instead of their decision. They've just trained rebellion. They decide to exercise. Their mind says, "You're too tired." They skip it. More rebellion training. They decide to eat healthy. Their mind says, "Just this once." They cave. Rebellion strengthened again. Musashi trained the opposite. He would give his mind small commands and force obedience, no matter how uncomfortable. His morning training. Wake at dawn, when body wants sleep. Immediately stand, when body wants to lie. Immediately walk to river, when body wants warmth. Submerge in freezing water, when body screams no. Sit for 10 minutes, when every cell wants out. This wasn't about the cold water. This was about training his mind. When I command, you obey. Always. Immediately. Without negotiation. The first morning, his mind rebelled violently. As he stood at the river's edge, every thought was, "Don't do it. Too cold. You'll get sick. Tomorrow is better." He stood there for 5 minutes, his mind and body in complete rebellion. But then he commanded, "We enter, now!" and forced his body to move. The shock of cold water was brutal, but something profound happened. His mind learned, rebellion doesn't work. He will force obedience. A Stanford neuroscientist who has been studying self-control for 20 years explains, each act of self-control strengthens what we call executive function pathways in the prefrontal cortex. Subjects who practice small acts of discipline, holding uncomfortable postures, delaying gratification by seconds, controlling breath during stress, show measurable strengthening of neural pathways associated with self-regulation. The key is consistency. Daily micro-acts of mental discipline create macro capacity for self-control. Musashi's daily forging exercises were brutally simple. Physical obedience training. Sit perfectly still for 30 minutes despite discomfort. No scratching, no adjusting, no moving. Command. Body, you remain still. Result. Body learns to obey. Desire control. Training. When hungry, delay eating by 1 hour. Not for health reasons, for training. Command. Mind, we eat when I decide, not when you want. Result. Mind learns, master decides, not appetite. Discomfort exposure training. Choose the hardest path, literally. When walking, choose the rocky path over the smooth path. Not for fitness, for training. Command. Body. We take the difficult route because I command it. Result. Body learns difficulty is not to be avoided when master commands. Impulse interruption. Training. When an impulse arises, scratch an itch, adjust position, check something, pause for 10 seconds before acting. Command. Mind, we don't react immediately. We pause, we decide, then we act. Result. Mind learns it doesn't control behavior, master does. After 30 days of this training in the mountains, Musashi's mind had transformed. His body no longer controlled him through discomfort, cravings, or impulses. He controlled his body through mental command. The master-servant relationship was established. He tested this new discipline immediately. He walked into a town and a merchant insulted him publicly. Musashi's immediate impulse: anger, retaliation, defend honor. But he commanded his mind. We feel the anger. We do not act on it. We walk away. His mind obeyed. His body walked away calmly while anger burned inside. The merchant was confused. The insult had no effect. This was the power of Shin no Tanren. His mind could feel everything but was controlled by nothing. Anger existed but didn't control behavior. Fear existed but didn't prevent action. Desire existed but didn't dictate choices. He was finally free because his mind was finally trained. Chapter 3. The Principle of Seishin no Shihai. Mastery of the Spirit. 2 years after his first duel, Musashi faced a new problem. He'd trained his mind to obey commands about physical discomfort and immediate impulses. But larger challenges, long-term goals, complex training, sustained discipline, still broke down. His mind would obey for days, then rebel. He needed something deeper. He discovered the second principle, Seishin no Shihai, mastery of the spirit. The difference between controlling your mind moment to moment versus commanding your mind long term. Musashi wrote, "The warrior who controls his mind in battle but loses control in daily life has trained combat, not mastery." True discipline is not situation dependent. True discipline is identity level. You are not someone who sometimes controls their mind. You are someone whose mind always obeys. This required a shift from "I will control my mind today" to "I am someone whose mind obeys me," from behavior to identity. He developed the identity forging protocol. Morning declaration. Before doing anything, state your identity out loud. I am Musashi. My mind obeys my commands without question. Discomfort does not control me. I control discomfort. Not as motivation, as fact-stating, as identity reinforcement, daily identity proof. Throughout the day, deliberately create moments that prove the identity. If your identity is "my mind obeys me," then command your mind to do something uncomfortable and force obedience. Each obedience moment reinforces, "Yes, this is who I am." Evening identity audit. Before sleep, review the day. Count moments of obedience versus rebellion. Obedience count should increase daily. Rebellion count should decrease daily. You're tracking identity strength, not just behaviors. Musashi's identity became unshakable through this daily practice. Every morning, declaration. Every day, proof moments every evening, audit. After 6 months, his identity as someone whose mind obeys was so strong that rebellion became psychologically impossible. It wasn't that he forced himself to be disciplined. It's that being undisciplined contradicted who he was. A Harvard psychologist studying identity and behavior for 18 years found identity-based habit formation shows 400% higher long-term maintenance than behavior-based habit formation. When subjects shift from "I am trying to be disciplined" to "I am a disciplined person," neural imaging shows decreased activity in regions associated with self-control effort and increased activity in regions associated with automatic behavior. The discipline becomes effortless because it's identity expression rather than behavior modification. Musashi tested this during his third duel at age 15. His opponent was Tadashima Akiyama, a famous swordsman known for psychological warfare. Before the duel, Tadashima mocked Musashi's youth, his lack of formal training, his orphan status. Every insult designed to trigger emotion, cloud judgment, cause reckless action. Old Musashi, before identity training, might have reacted emotionally. But identity Musashi simply watched his mind. He felt the anger arise. He felt the impulse to respond. And then he thought, "I am someone whose mind obeys me. I am not someone whose mind obeys insults. Therefore, my mind will remain calm, and my body will remain still until the duel begins." His mind obeyed. The insults continued. His mind remained calm. When the duel started, Tadashima was confused. His psychological warfare had failed completely. Musashi's mind was focused entirely on combat, unaffected by emotion. He won quickly. After the duel, someone asked, "How did you remain calm during those insults?" Musashi's answer, "I didn't remain calm, I commanded calm, and because I am someone whose mind obeys my commands, calm is what happened." This is the power of Seishin no Shihai. You're not trying to be disciplined. You're not forcing self-control. You are someone whose mind obeys. The discipline flows from identity, not from effort. Chapter 4. The Principle of Renshū no Keizoku. Continuous practice. At age 20, Musashi had trained his mind for 7 years. He'd won 15 duels. He had absolute mental discipline in combat. But he noticed something troubling. Between duels, his discipline would soften. Days without challenge made his mind lazy. He needed a way to maintain peak mental discipline constantly, not just when facing death. He developed the third principle, Renshū no Keizoku, continuous practice, the system for maintaining mental discipline through daily training, regardless of external circumstances. Musashi wrote, "The warrior who only disciplines his mind before battle will die in an unexpected fight. The warrior who disciplines his mind daily cannot be caught unprepared. Make discipline practice, not response to challenge." He created non-negotiable daily disciplines, small, uncomfortable, purposeless actions with only one goal: keep the mind trained to obey. The daily discipline protocol. Morning cold exposure. Every morning, regardless of weather, temperature, or feeling, immerse in cold water for exactly 10 minutes. Not for health, not for energy. For mental obedience training, the mind will scream to stop at minute 2. You remain until minute 10. Training. I command, you obey, even in discomfort. Noon hunger. Extension. When hunger first appears, wait exactly 1 hour before eating. Not for fasting benefits. For impulse control training, the mind will demand immediate satisfaction. You delay deliberately. Training. Impulses don't control behavior. I do. Evening discomfort. Sitting. Sit in an uncomfortable position for 20 minutes. Not meditation, just uncomfortable sitting. The mind will want to adjust, shift, move. You remain still until the timer ends. Training. Discomfort exists, but doesn't control action. The key: these disciplines serve no purpose except training your mind. Western minds struggle with this. Why do something uncomfortable if there's no benefit? That question reveals why Western minds lack discipline. The benefit is the training. You're not sitting in discomfort to gain something else. You're training your mind to obey when things are uncomfortable. Musashi practiced these daily for 30 years. Every single day. Traveling, find cold water, train. Injured, modified but maintained. Sick, gentler but continuous. The practice never stopped because stopping meant regression. A Yale neuroscientist studying habit maintenance for 17 years explains, neural pathways strengthen through use and atrophy through disuse. Self-control pathways are no different. Subjects who practice daily self-control exercises maintain executive function capacity. Subjects who practice only when needed show rapid decline in self-control capacity. The brain requires continuous challenge to maintain capability. At age 30, Musashi was challenged by the Yoshioka school. 3 duels in one day against their 3 best swordsmen. This was designed to be impossible. Fresh warrior versus exhausted warrior 3 times. But Musashi's mind had been training daily for 17 years. His mental discipline didn't deplete. First duel, won quickly, remained calm. Second duel, won efficiently, energy stable. Third duel, won decisively, focus sharp. The Yoshioka school was shocked. How did his mental state not deteriorate across 3 life or death battles? Because his mind had been training daily for 17 years. 3 duels in one day was nothing compared to 17 years of daily discipline practice. This is Renshū no Keizoku. Your mind is like a muscle. Daily training maintains strength. No training causes atrophy. Most people's minds are atrophied from lack of discipline training. They expect to summon discipline when needed, but you can't access what you haven't built. Chapter 5. The Principle of Kan, the Stillness Response. By age 35, Musashi had fought over 40 duels. His mind was disciplined, obedient, trained. But he discovered a limitation. His discipline still required effort. Small effort, but effort nonetheless. He would command his mind, and his mind would obey. But there was still a slight internal friction. He wanted something deeper. Discipline without effort. Obedience without command. He found the 4th principle during a meditation retreat. Kan, the stillness response. Not controlling the mind, not commanding the mind. Creating a mind so still that discipline becomes natural rather than forced. Musashi wrote, "The disciplined warrior controls his mind like a general controls soldiers, through command. The master warrior has no need to control his mind because his mind is naturally still. Still water doesn't need to be controlled. It naturally reflects without distortion. Make your mind still, and discipline becomes effortless." This was radically different from his previous training. Before, train the mind to obey commands. Now, train the mind to be so naturally calm that commands aren't needed. The Kan training method. Morning stillness. Sitting. 1 hour each dawn, sitting in complete mental stillness. Not forcing thoughts away, not controlling the mind, just watching thoughts arise and dissolve without engaging them. The mind learns. Thoughts come, thoughts go. I am the stillness that watches, not the thoughts that move. Activity with stillness. Throughout the day, maintain inner stillness during action. Walking, still mind, moving body. Eating, still mind, acting body. Training, still mind, working body. The mind learns. I can act without internal chaos. Action and stillness coexist. Reaction, observation. When something triggers emotion, insult, danger, desire, pause before reacting. Watch the emotion arise in the still mind like a wave arising in still water. Watch it peak. Watch it dissolve. The mind learns. Emotions are temporary movements in permanent stillness. They don't require action. After 1 year of Kan training, Musashi's discipline transformed completely. Previously, he would feel anger arise and command himself to remain calm. That was discipline through control. Now, anger would arise in his still mind. He would watch it without engagement. and it would dissolve without needing to command anything. That was discipline through stillness. His 50th duel demonstrated this. His opponent was Sasaki Kojiro, the most famous swordsman in Japan. Before the duel, Musashi deliberately arrived 2 hours late. Kojiro waited on the island, growing more enraged with each passing minute. By the time Musashi arrived, Kojiro was furious, insulting, aggressive. Exactly what Musashi wanted. Kojiro's mind was chaos, anger, impatience, wounded pride. Musashi's mind was still water. He felt no need to respond to insults because his still mind simply observed them as sounds, nothing more. When the duel began, Kojiro attacked with fury. Musashi moved with precision. One strike, Kojiro fell, dead. A witness asked Musashi, "How did his insults not affect you?" Musashi's answer, "Insults are like wind. They move through still air, but still air doesn't become wind. It remains still. My mind is still air. His insults were wind. They moved through me. I remained still." This is Kan. Not controlling your reaction, not forcing discipline, just being so fundamentally still that external chaos can't create internal chaos. The ultimate discipline is no discipline. Just natural stillness that doesn't need controlling. A Princeton neuroscientist studying meditation and self-regulation for 19 years found advanced meditation practitioners show decreased activity in the default mode network, the brain's self-referential system. When subjects achieve stable stillness, stressors and emotional triggers produce minimal neural activation. This isn't suppression. Brain imaging shows the limbic system simply doesn't activate strongly. The stillness prevents the initial reactivity. This is effortless self-control, because there's nothing to control. Chapter 6. The Complete Transformation. By age 50, Musashi had fought 60 duels without losing and had spent 37 years training his mind. The orphan who couldn't control his fear of a dog had become a man whose mind was completely obedient, naturally still, and impossibly disciplined. His daily life revealed the complete system in action. Morning, Shin no Tanren plus Kan. Wake at dawn without alarm, body trained to obey. Immediate cold water immersion, no negotiation, pure obedience. 1 hour stillness sitting. Mind naturally calm. His mind was trained and still before most people woke up. Midday, Seishin no Shihai plus Renshū no Keizoku. Training for hours without distraction. Identity. I am someone who trains completely. Deliberate discomfort practice. Continuous training maintains discipline. No breaking focus for comfort or convenience. Evening, complete integration. Reflection on the day, identity reinforcement. More stillness practice, maintaining Kan. Preparation for tomorrow, command mind what tomorrow requires. Sleep with complete mental calm. The 4 principles working together created something remarkable. Shin no Tanren, forging the mind. Daily micro-acts of obedience training. Body obeys commands regardless of discomfort. Foundation of discipline. Seishin no Shihai, mastery of spirit. Identity level discipline. I am someone whose mind obeys. Replaces, I try to be disciplined. Discipline becomes automatic identity expression. Renshū no Keizoku, continuous practice. Non-negotiable daily training. Mind stays sharp through constant challenge. No atrophy from disuse. Kan, stillness response. Ultimate level. Mind so naturally still that discipline requires no effort. Reactions don't arise strongly enough to need controlling. A visitor once asked Musashi, "How do you have such incredible discipline and self-control?" Musashi's answer, "I don't have discipline. I trained discipline for 37 years. Daily, without exception. Most people want discipline without training discipline. They want to train mind while doing nothing to train their mind. They want self-control while never controlling their self." This is like wanting strong muscles without ever lifting weight. Impossible. His final lesson. Your mind is currently untrained. That's why it disobeys you. That's why you lack discipline. That's why self-control feels impossible. But training is available. 7 days to see change, 30 days to feel transformation, 1 year to become unrecognizable, 10 years to achieve mastery. Most people won't do 7 days. That's why most people remain undisciplined their entire lives. Not because they can't, because they won't train. Chapter 7. The Truth About Discipline. Here's what Musashi understood that most people never learn. Discipline is not a personality trait. It's a trained skill. You weren't born undisciplined. You've just never trained discipline. Every time you let your mind disobey you, sleeping through alarms, skipping workouts, breaking diets, procrastinating, giving in to impulses, you're training. You're training your mind that rebellion works, that commands can be ignored, that you're not really in control. After years of this training, your mind becomes expert at disobedience. Then you wonder why you lack discipline. You don't lack discipline. You've trained the opposite of discipline, and training creates results. Musashi trained the opposite direction. Every morning, obedience training through cold water. Every day, identity reinforcement through deliberate challenges. Every evening, audit and preparation. For 37 years, his mind learned, commands are absolute. Obedience is inevitable. Master is in control. Western psychology calls this ego depletion and teaches that willpower is limited. Musashi would disagree. Willpower appears limited when your mind is untrained. A trained mind doesn't deplete because obedience is automatic, not effortful. You only feel depletion when you're fighting internal rebellion. Train obedience, eliminate rebellion, and depletion disappears. The document Zen monasteries kept hidden? It's not hidden. It's Musashi's Book of 5 Rings where he wrote, "In all things, practice is essential. Study strategy over the years and achieve the spirit of the warrior. Today is victory over yourself of yesterday. Tomorrow is your victory over lesser men." Every wisdom tradition knew this. Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort. Buddhists practiced mental training. Spartans practiced hardship exposure. They all understood. Discipline is trained, not inherited. But there's no profit in teaching people they can train discipline. There's profit in selling them external solutions. Apps that will make them productive, supplements that will give them motivation, programs that will create discipline for them. Keep people believing discipline comes from external sources, and they'll buy forever. Teach them discipline comes from training, and they'll never need to buy anything again. Musashi spent Wise Zero on his discipline training. Just daily practice, uncomfortable moments, and absolute consistency. After 37 years, his mind was more obedient than any king's army. Cost, nothing but commitment. Results, everything. Chapter 8. The Path Forward. You don't need 37 years like Musashi. You can start training your mind today. Week 1 or 2. Shin no Tanren. Basic obedience training. Morning cold exposure. 30 seconds cold shower, no matter how uncomfortable. Command, body. We do this. Train obedience daily. Don't increase duration yet. Establish consistency first. Impulse delay practice. When any impulse arises, scratch itch, check phone, adjust position. Pause for 10 seconds before acting. Command, mind, we pause first, then we decide. Train impulse control. Evening stillness. Sit in uncomfortable position for 5 minutes. No moving, no adjusting. Command, body, we remain still despite discomfort. Train physical obedience. Week 3-4. Seishin no Shihai, identity building. Morning declaration. State your identity out loud every morning. I am your name. My mind obeys my commands. I am someone whose body does what I tell it to do. Not motivation, identity statement. Daily proof moments. 3 times per day, deliberately command something uncomfortable and force obedience. Doesn't matter what. Matters that mind obeys. Each obedience proves identity. Evening identity audit. Count obedience moments versus rebellion moments. Score yourself. Tomorrow's goal: 1 more obedience, 1 less rebellion. Week 5-8, Renshū no Keizoku, continuous practice. Establish non-negotiable dailies. Choose 3 small disciplines you'll do daily without exception for 30 days. Examples: cold exposure, hunger delay, discomfort sitting. These serve no purpose except training. Track the streak. Mark each day you complete all 3. The streak becomes valuable. Breaking it becomes costly. Your mind learns, we don't break streaks, we're not that person. Increase challenge gradually. After 30 days of consistency, make one discipline 10% harder. Not dramatically harder, just slightly more challenging. Mind adapts and strengthens. Week 9-12. Con, stillness development. Morning stillness practice, 20 minutes of mental stillness. Not controlling thoughts, just watching them arise and dissolve. Mind learns to be naturally still. Stillness during activity. Choose one daily activity and maintain complete inner stillness during it. Walking to work, still mind. Eating breakfast, still mind. Presence with stillness. Emotion observation. When emotion arises, watch it without reacting. See anger appear, peak, dissolve. See craving appear, intensify, fade. Mind learns. Emotions are temporary, stillness is permanent. Expected timeline. Week 1, first glimpse that your mind can obey. Week 2, small disciplines becoming slightly easier. Week 4, clear identity shift beginning. I'm becoming someone whose mind obeys. Week 8, disciplines feeling automatic rather than effortful. Week 12, deep stillness beginning. Discipline without internal friction. Month 6, dramatic transformation. People asking, how did you change so much? Year 1, complete system integrated. Discipline is now your default state. Remember Musashi's teaching, training creates the warrior. The warrior does not create training. Most people wait to feel disciplined before training discipline. This is backwards. Train discipline daily and the feeling follows. Your mind is currently untrained, not broken, not defective, just untrained. Like an untrained horse throws its rider, your untrained mind throws off your commands. But horses can be trained, minds can be trained. The training is available. The question is, will you do it? Musashi died at age 62 in a cave, having spent 37 years training his mind and 60 duels proving that training worked. His final words were not about sword technique or strategy. They were about the mind. I regret nothing. A life lived with absolute mental discipline and self-control. Not because he was born special, because he trained daily for 37 years. That training is available to you. Not the duels, not the wandering warrior life, but the trained mind. The mind that obeys your commands. The discipline that becomes automatic. The self-control that requires no effort, because your mind is naturally still. You've spent years training your mind to disobey you. Every ignored alarm, every broken promise to yourself, every impulse you surrendered to. Years of training rebellion. And now you wonder why you lack discipline. You don't lack discipline. You've trained the opposite, but training works both directions. Train obedience, and obedience becomes automatic. Train stillness, and stillness becomes natural. Train discipline, and discipline becomes effortless. 7 days to start, 30 days to feel different, 1 year to become different. Most people won't start the 7 days. That's why most people stay the same forever. If this video changed your perspective on discipline and self-control, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. And tell me in the comments, what command does your mind refuse to obey? Write it honestly. My mind refuses to obey when I command specific action. Because awareness of disobedience is the first step to training obedience. Remember Musashi's final teaching. Discipline is not something you have. Discipline is something you train. Train daily and you become unbreakable. Avoid training and you remain controlled by every impulse, every discomfort, every emotion. The choice is yours. 7 days of training starts now. The transformation begins now.